Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 6 of the Oil Well Intervention Training Program. Today, we'll be discussing on advanced slickline operations and fishing techniques. As is the usual practice, we all should be very mindful of our safety in the course of the lecture. Irrespective of where you are listening from, identify your muster point, identify your exit, identify your restroom, such that should there be any safety issue, you only just walk briskly to your muster point, making sure there is no obstruction along your gangway. All right, welcome once more to the week 6 of today's delivery, where slickline stops being just slick wire and becomes a surgical recovery tool for you. If you've ever wondered how to rescue a lost 5,000 feet underground without losing your cool, this is your week. Reflect around what I've just said. We'll cover fishing strategies, tool selection, and real-world recovery missions. This is where your steady hand meets your sharp brain. Introduction to Advanced Slickline Operations. Advanced Slickline Operations means precision, problem solving, and patience under pressure. We will learn how these operations boost well productivity, why fishing techniques separate professionals from panic-prone amateurs. The why doesn't care how many certificates you have. If you can't pull out a fish, it will humble you so quickly. So give more than the usual attention as expected. What will be the learning objectives at the end of this week 6 training program? By the end of this week, you should be able to identify advanced slickline fishing tools, develop fishing strategies for different well scenarios, evaluate well integrity using slickline tools, troubleshoot fishing and retrieval failures like a professional. If you can do all these, congratulations. You've just earned the right to say to your boss, "Boss, send me in. I'll bring it out," all with confidence. So give more attention to this training. Understanding fishing operations. Fishing means retrieving lost or stuck downhole equipment. And there are a lot of causes why you lost a fishing hole. One of them, wire breaks, tool separation, corrosion, debris buildup. Types of fishing. There are basically 3 types of fishing. The mechanical, which grabs like a hand. The magnetic, of course, that picks like a magnet. And the chemical dissolves or burns material. If for any reason, in any circumstance, you drop it in hole, don't panic. An engineer's or an operator's calm mind is sharper than a new gyro pulling tool. So when you are calm, you think very clearly. More than halfway the problem has been solved. Fishing operation strategy and planning. Before you fish, you plan, or the well will teach you humility. There are 5-step strategy in the planning phase. Number 1 on the list is to diagnose the problem. Identify what the problem is. 2, analyze well deviation and well conditions. Select the right tool. Draft a recovery plan on paper. If you have an idea, you can't put it on paper, just forget it. You got no idea. So have that mentality or the habit of putting your plans on paper. Prepare a plan B or sometimes a plan C. There is this golden rule. The best fishers think twice, deeply, that's what it means, and jar once. Key slickline fishing tools and overview. Prior to today, we've discussed extensively some of these tools, but we will only just add flesh to what we already knew from our past week training. Pulling tools. The pulling tools comprises the GS, GRO, JDC. These are grabbers. Fishing spears. These are piercers. Magnetic tools. These are pickers. Rope sockets and fishing nets. The connectors. Jar and stems. The shockers. Every tool has a personality. Respect it, or it will embarrass you in front of your client or supervisor on site. Pulling tools. Selection and application. The GS tool is for standard necks. Down jar to latch, up jar to release. GRO tool for tight wells or no jarring space. The JDC tool, heavy duty beast, for when the well says, bring your muzzles, that is a very complicated, hard to retrieve fish, you deploy the JDC tool. What are the things to look on in choosing your tools? 1, neck type, depth, well deviation, the release mode. If you use a GS where GRO should go, you are not fishing. You are only just flirting with the failure, and it will cost you a lot. So take very good note, please, when you are looking for criteria and choosing your fishing tools. Spear and overshot. When tools fall deeper than your patience, internal spears goes inside the fish's ball. External overshot hugs the fish from outside. You wear it on it. For parted wires or drop tools, think of it as either grabbing by the neck, which of course you use a spear, or be a hugging the fish when you wear the overshot on the fish. Magnetic fishing tools used for tiny ferrous items, screws, pins, and broken bits. When they say ferrous, what do we mean? Anything that has element of iron in it, in this metallurgy, those are ferrous materials. And the magnet, they are very happy to go get such kind of fish out of hole. The permanent magnet is the old school type, but very reliable. electromagnetic type, modern and powerful. There are limitations anyway. The magnet fishing tools won't work on non-ferrous materials or in scaled wells. That's when the magnet looks at the fish and says, sorry bro, you are not my type. That's if it has no element of ferocity, ferrous material. Jarring operations, principles and techniques. Jarring is like CPRO for stock tools. Gentle at first, firm if needed. Please don't overdo it. Upward jars pull free. Downward jars push down or latch. Proper jar spacing and stem length are crucial. Overjarring, that's just oil fish slang for how to break more than you fix. So be mindful of the way you jar to engage your fish. Like I said before, we'll be considering some case studies to bring us to a very good limelight of the fishing operations. We'll talk about scenarios. So case study number 1, fishing job failure. What is the scenario? Slickline lost at 5,000 feet downhole. What was the cause? Rope socket misaligned and wrong tool size deployed. The result? The wire broke. Lesson here, always verify your fish neck before you drop the tool in hole. If your tool string doesn't fit, don't force it. That's not engineering. That's stubbornness on your part. And when you're stubborn, you're going to see the dire consequences of your being stubborn. Case study number 1, corrective solution to what we've just narrated. Used a GS pulling tool with a centralizer. Added heavy stem for extra downward force. Applied controlled jarring sequence, not over jarring. The result? There was a successful retrieval of the lost tool in hole. Case study number 2, collapsed tubing fishing. The scenario is this: tool stuck in collapsed tubing. Analysis: fish trapped by deformation. Then the risk: more jarring, it collapsed the tubing further. What we should learn here is that know when to use force and when to use brains. Sometimes finesse beats horsepower. Still on case study number 2, the solution and lesson. We used a gauge cutter to map restriction, confirm position with impression block, deployed external overshot for retrieval. The lesson here is this: always check tubing integrity by running a gauge cutter if possible. Always. Never wrestle a broken pipe. Case study number 3, magnetic fishing failure. You can see we are considering various fishing methods now. Magnetic fishing failure. The scenario is this: magnet didn't catch. What was the cause? Fish wasn't ferrous. It doesn't contain elements of iron in it, in its metallurgy. Solution: switched to small overshot and there was success. The lesson here is that identify your fish material before running your tools in hole. Magnets don't lie, they just mind their metal. Well integrity checks using slickline tools. Use tools for well integrity includes but not limited to the following: pressure, temperature logging, caliper runs, dummy runs, packer checks to keep you from fishing blind in risk wells to fishing blindly in a risk well. Remember, a smart operator checks, a lucky one hopes. So would rather be very smart when we're in the field as an operator. Operational limitations, factors that can ruin your day: excessive depth, high temperature or pressure wells, human errors occur, Monday morning syndrome after enjoying yourself over the weekend with a lot of alcohol, otherwise known as hangover. Poor tool tolerance. If your subconscious mind says don't run it, it is usually right. So you have to think very deeply before you do anything. Common troubleshooting techniques. When things go sour, recheck tool connections, verify line tensions and drum pressures, adjust temp configurations, watch surface tension for engagement signals. The slickline tells you stories. If you stop shouting long enough to listen, give your heart to the operations. Preventive measures. Prevent problems before they occur. Proper planning and simulations. Grease and inspect joints. Calibrate tension meters. Never overjar unless you are filming an oil field action movie. You want to really do a Nigerian movie with title Oil Field Action. Never you overjar. Reward lessons from field failures. Don't bet your day on one fishing attempt. Right tool is synonymous to shorter down time. Debris and deviations are silent enemies in oil well intervention process or exercise. Above all, patience saves your career. Summary of key takeaways. Let us recap. Know your fish and your tools. Keep equipment ready and redressed. Prioritize safety above all things while you're in the field or even before you leave for the field. Field experience is greater than textbook knowledge. Every failed fish is just another lesson wearing a coverall. Final note to all trainees. We know we are still at the basic, but deep enough to give you a very sound foundation. Every fishing job is a battle of skill and patience. The best slickline operators don't just fish, they think. This week 6 training program wraps up the free period of the training exercise. To advance to the next half of the whole week 12 training exercise, make sure you would have completed the week 1 through to week 6 quiz questions and submitted to the training coordinator for grading and assessment. You also make sure you would have regularized your membership by paying the required one-time registration fee of 10,000 naira into the following accounts as seen on the slide. Please invest in knowledge now, because in the field, experience is the most expensive school. Acquire it. This privilege you are having, you may never have it anywhere, but it is a nationwide campaign. It's a worldwide campaign. Charity, we say, begins at home. That's why we're starting it here. Please, for more emphasis, go through this from time to time. To continue with the remaining part of your week 7 through to week 12, well intervention service training, we've been admonished to regularize our membership. So I would say thank you for your patience and for listening to me very, very quietly and attentively. I will see you in the other half of the training exercise. That will be very, very practical. So many things will be talked about: management, technical, economics. Thanks very much, and I hope to see you at the other side of the training. Goodbye.